Welcome everyone, we are the Grin brothers and we finally got that space hooligan.
We did. You know, I'd like...
So Telltale... Oh, what?
I was going to say something quick. I'd like prepared in my head to do like this full glorious little speech thing about the fact that I'd finally returned living in a state of not being dead. And I just completely forgot to do it.
Well, I mean, I'll get onto it later, but, you know, as we were saying before, you are really happy now.
I am, yes.
Meanwhile, I am feeling absolutely depressed, so
Yes.
and absolutely terrible in life. But that's a thing for later, because instead we're going to talk about how Telltale games suck, so...
Yeah.
As in, the games, I mean, okay, the company did have big problems as well, but, like...
Yeah, from what I've gathered, the manager wasn't a great dude.
No. Money was swindled, sort of thing, not properly spent, you know, that. They were still, from what I heard, they were still using the same engine that they had used back when they made the first Walking Dead.
Okay, yeah.
They were only, they made the engine and they never took any time, because they kept getting so many licensed games, which suddenly is less of a case of we can work on it in our own time, it's instead of a, we have to make this for this deadline.
Yeah.
They never had time to take time off from their engine to make a new engine. So what they did when trying to work on a new engine is they just basically kept fixing problems with the original engine, but that meant they were still working the groundwork off of that one engine. So they never really... the block up there will protect you, so you can... Yeah. Yeah, they've been using that one engine for ages. You know, up since... When did The Walking Dead came out? Like 2008?
Sure.
Yeah, so it's been like... They've been using the same engine for 10 years, effectively.
Oh, that's one way to get back to the front door.
Yeah, like, I never saw the appeal of it. You know, it's not much gameplay. I mean, certain games like that can work really well. I mean, certain games I felt enjoyable even when there wasn't much gameplay. Usually it's in spite of the lack of gameplay, in a sense. Like, I really love Azura's Wrath, but I really enjoyed the gameplay of Azura's Wrath, and I wish there was more of it, and it would have been a better game if there was more gameplay.
I wish there had been more gameplay.
Because the gameplay was so good! I like it for its story and everything, but its gameplay was also really good.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a game which I think does, again, one of the best...
Don't do this to me, Joy-Con.
One of the best games in terms of doing a story-based game, which I never saw much appeal of before, Until Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
It came out, ironically, it came out the same year as 1086, and did everything, 1886, and did everything 1886 wanted to do better, in terms of making a story...
To be fair, not really hard.
A story game that works. They're making a new game, by the way.
Who?
The Until Dawn people.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they're making a sequel to 1886, and I was going, why?
No, the people who made 1886
then again,
make, I think, Gigantic?
They made a sequel to
that?
Nax, so...
Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
I saw where one of the Space Hooligans is.
So did I.
But yeah, Telltale Games, they're closing down. Their problems were they never updated their system, and you look at...
God damn it!
I mean, it's pretty evident. You just look at how many games they had in production at once.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bunch of licensed games.
They got too greedy.
Yeah.
Give us the money!
Well, it's kind of funny. I forgot that The Walking Dead was actually a comic book. I kind of thought they actually made it as their own IP. But it isn't.
Yeah, no.
So, because I was thinking, you know, my first thought was actually, does this negatively affect Tekken 7's guest character of Negan from The Walking Dead?
But fortunately, we needn't worry.
That is still one of the strangest guest characters possible.
I mean...
We're talking about where we live in a world where Cloud is in Smash Brothers and Yoda and Darth Vader were in Star Wars. Sorry, were in Star
yeah,
Wars.
oh god, yeah. Never expected them to be in Star Wars. That was a real twist. Like,
I love how salty Star Wars fans get when we're like, what was it, Star sort of thing, like,
so
a lack of care for it.
Can we appreciate the fact that the platforming was like so tight, it took me like 5 minutes or more to get one hooligan, and this puzzle is literally that. Why would you do this to me?
Yeah, it's just a case, took on too much work, and they, took the price for it. They were too small of a studio to really do that.
Oh, wait.
Which, I guess can kind of tie into one thing to say. There's a studio currently celebrating releasing its 100th game. That studio being Team 17.
Oh, yes, they are.
And Team 17 are basically an example of how a small studio survives.
I feel like someone's put a few too many boxes in here.
They never overextended themselves.
I don't think they ever extended themselves.
Yeah. Sure, there was always the problem where, they did focus a bit too much on worms during the whole second gen. Oh, sorry, not second gen. Oh, wow.
Keep shooting.
They did focus a bit too much on worms during the when they got the sort of Dreamcast and era beyond to Gen 6. I don't remember there being anything other than worms. That was actually ironically the part where I actually did like it, because at least whilst they were only doing worms, that was when they were doing Worms 3D and Worms 4, actually experimenting with the Worms series.
Worms 3D was a beautiful train wreck.
It's not as good as Armageddon, but it's kind of like, I liked that they were more daring with worms. They've been too safe with worms.
Like,
And frankly, all 2D Worms games have literally been a case of, we want to make it as good as Armageddon. But they've never really caught the same
charm?
Yeah.
Because I don't have my goddamn flamethrower back. I'm dying.
But, then when they got to the... I think, what really...
Jump!
What really helped them was...
So I have to sit like this.
I can just move the dock!
Never!
What really helped them further survive, because again, the Gen 7 HD era killed so many studios.
By the way, I'd like to reiterate for people unaware that these Joy-Cons do not like me. That was not my incompetence, that was the buttons not working.
Rafi's just embarrassed.
Try me. I was about to use bad language words.
Badger language.
Just remember, I die. We're doing this all
We'll finally
again.
translate what this badger says. It's effing, effing.
Yeah, bloody way!
Oh, it'll be British though.
No, don't give me money, give me hearts. Wow, that's
cheap.
fair.
Well,
guess we're doing all this again.
Yeah, like Team 17 never, they never did overextend themselves, and what really helped
This
them
is a
out,
lot harder than the actual game.
What really helped them during the Gen 7 was, weirdly enough, Microsoft. I mean, Nintendo helped them a lot with the DS and the Wii, being very handy systems.
Oh, now you give me a heart. Thanks, game.
Handy systems to work on because they weren't HD and they still sold well. But what also really helped was Xbox Arcade. Because that was when Team 17 finally got to release games other than Worms, because they released a whole trilogy of Alien Breed games.
Oh yeah, Alien.
And they also made Super Frog HD. They started moving away from just making Worms. And with indie developers, they thought, well, back in the day, how we basically made all our games was we'd find a person who's making a game, say, we can help you make that. We made the game, and then we will look to the next person. It's like, anyone else got any game ideas? No? We'll find someone else new and employ them. And then we can make their game.
Yeah, they basically were the original indie supporters.
Yeah, and they kind of, it's funny that, how they're really big. I think the first indie game that they supported that got really big was The Escapists.
Escapists did get pretty big.
And they gave a ton of support to it. But since then, they've really marked themselves out well for that niche, and they've got a lot of accolades recently. They are one of the longest...
Including accolades!
One of the longest surviving British studios, after all.
That's not exactly hard,
One of the only ones to really survive from the 90s, in the early 90s. They were, 1990?
On a good note, from what I can gather, Forza Horizon 4 has done really well, so we should have enough money to be able to fund Fable.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing, with the Fable thing, is I think that's actually some of the... It's weird, but it's actually some of the best hand you could possibly give the Fable franchise to.
Yeah, they're British.
They're a British studio, and they have expressed a keen interest in doing something other than racing games.
Yeah. I don't blame them, because there's only so many cars you can animate. I forgot. I cannot rest.
I kind of, you know, like, I don't like the idea of face cam or such, but I kind of wish we had it just for this. This is just marvelous.
I wish we had it, because, like, I feel like people are just going to think I'm insane or something. But no, I'm not. It's just genuinely against me.
But yeah, like,
Get wrecked, Scrubble.
yeah, Team 17 recently got off, I think their boss recently got like a honorary British Game Award sort of thing and all that. You know, I think one of them got a business award from the Queen or something.
Oh.
And such. Yeah, you know, service to entertainment industry sort of award.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if it's the same thing as what Sir Clive got, because Sir Clive, the guy who made the ZX Spectrum, he got knighted because of stuff like the ZX Spectrum.
Queen was just a fan, alright? I don't enjoy the ZX Spectrum.
I'm constantly playing Attic Attack!
It's...
I wouldn't blame the Queen for constantly playing Attic Attack.
No one would, Liam. No one would. Alright. Can I just... Look, my hair's touched her. Doesn't that count? It's the real game mode. Shantae's hair.
The people have criticisms to the royal family from time to time, and you know there's a whole sort of republic thing who you know would rather go about the royal family. But come on, you can't fault the Queen. The Queen's just amazing in everything she does.
She's cool. I like her. She's chill. She's like that sweet old lady that also has the power to decapitate people.
I love how that's a thing.
It's a law, apparently. And there's apparently nothing the other countries. Well, I mean, they could just wage war with us, but.
But technically, we're all completely legal for doing so.
Yeah, it's like a weird thing. You think other countries would have that written in their pages. By the way, I can just kind of decapitate you as long as I use my mate's sword. Sounds like a North Korea rule, really.
Ouch! What in the world is going on? You're grounded on suspicion of supplying illegal airborne street racers with modified magic carpets.
I'm pretty sure the property damage you just did is more of a crime than what he's been doing.
Especially since the police, they can't commit crimes.
Suspicion. Tell that to America. Yeah.
Furthermore, your men interfered with my investigation.
To be fair, I don't think you had a permit to be there, meaning it's technically private property, which means you...
Oh, come on, I've watched, you know, NCS, Bone, CSI and such before. The permits are just kind of, you know, a guideline. Your investigation...
Also, have I ever mentioned this? But I really like Ammo Baron's hat.
You have mentioned it every time he's appeared on screen.
And I really want one.
I've been investigating these races myself. Ammo Baron, Galactic Penal Squad.
Wait.
Officer Shantae.
Ammo Barons from space?
Well, he's a Cyclops. Oh. I have jurisdiction. My orders come from the top.
Dude, explain his chin. How does he eat? It's like a bowl. Does he just pour soup in there?
So do mine. How high?
Like, really
Direct from headquarters.
You mean that creepy old man?
Ha! Mine... Oh, I did the reverse order. Mine for 60,000 feet. Ha! Men, assemble! He's not crazy, so I'm not sure why I'm doing the random voices. Okay, no, he is crazy. Kaplooey! Kaplam!
No, he's always said that. It's because he's macho.
Okay. Transform to flight mode!
He's not quite suffered.
Why are you fighting?
Because you invaded his jurisdiction.
Let's show this small town cadet how we do things downtown.
He's from space,
in the air.
Now my Baron's...
like, with this would take place... Like, should we do all the DLC? I feel, given how long it's taken you to do this, it would take too long for us to just
be fair, not entirely my fault that this has taken a while.
Like, I feel it'd take too long, but on the other hand,
Oh, no.
this is revealing some fascinating facets
I feel
of
like
Shantae lore.
I feel like we need to do them.
Dear gosh, Little Nightmares is definitely not going to be a Halloween game.
And I'm just going to not suck as much. Maybe I'll switch to my Switch that actually works.
Well, I'll be playing at least one of the other ones.
Well, yeah.
Well, there's 3 more, right? So that could be 2 from... Oh, wait, no, because
There's
we're doing Friends to the End together, aren't we?
Yeah.
We got Beach...
Oh my god! Amber Baron's actually difficult! We got Beach, Pajama, and Ninja.
Yeah.
Right, I can fight him. Please,
Come on, quick. You really are put in a difficult position when you're just level 3. Yeah, you start extending it out. Luckily, you'll be reset to just the boss battle, I believe. So
Yeah, I will.
yeah,
Which is right, and I'll be at full, so...
yeah.
Ah, Amber Baron became difficult. This is terrifying.
That is weird. Yeah.
I guess, to be fair, before I just stand there and health boost for it. It's kind of... Just sit there mashing the attack button and heal occasionally.
Speaking of the police, though,
Yeah.
I've actually
that can never be interpreted as political in any way,
I've
shape or form.
finished reading all the retro gaming magazines I've had on me yet to get the next one. So I've actually finally gone around to start reading the book I got, the Denham Massacre.
Are you kidding me?
No, I have been reading the Denham
No.
Massacre book.
I meant more me.
I hope you weren't involved in the Denham Massacre.
I don't even know what it is.
Well, basically, with the conservation group, we ended up inviting this police officer around because he'd been writing a book about a police officer who'd lived in our village before. Only for 3 years, but it was, that's like, our small town village, that's like, best thing you could really get, so.
Yeah. Come down here, I can't hit you!
But the Denham Massacre was, the single most violent, violent murder in Victorian history.
How many bullets do I have to put into you?
Which is kind of interesting then, that very few people actually are aware of it.
Nah.
But then again, as kind of summed up by the police officer who's written the book, why he feels that people don't talk about it is that the police investigation for it was successful. Unlike Jack the Ripper, which...
We succeeded, so it's inherently more boring. I guess it kind of makes sense. It kind of takes mystery out of it.
Like, the Jack the Ripper investigations was one of the first times the newspapers were actually criticising and ridiculing the police in their inability to catch the Ripper.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Whereas the Denham Massacre, violent murder, 7 people from 3 different generations murdered in one night.
Wow.
But there's not much mystery to it. Like, the crime was kind of easily solved when you get down to it. It was pretty obvious who the killer was, sort of thing.
Yeah.
He wasn't exactly intelligent. But, so there's a lack of mystery to it, but it is interesting, these sort of, how it came about and all that, what led to it, the... how, what made it so much easier of a crime to solve. And of course, then they're going to try to actually prosecute that guy, most violent Victorian murder, 7 people dead across 3 generations of a family.
Yeah.
And you try to stop that guy from being lynched by a mob the moment you're trying to take them to court.
Yeah.
In a day before cars and such. That was a heck of a work to do.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's a real interesting... It's really nice holding a book again, as it were. It's a
oh my god, a heart!
It's a thick, hardback book, and it just feels nice reading it.
Thank God he died! Jesus Christ! How many bullets to the nuts does this man take?
I got put off of reading for a long while because of English A levels, but...
Yeah. I need to finish reading
It's nice to be reading something that isn't a magazine, because, I think... my aching noggin. Now stay put while I call into headquarters. HQ, this is Officer Shantae. You got an undercover operative here? Uh-huh. I see. Good news, fella. Your story checks out. Sorry for blowing your cover. I can't feel anything from the eyeball down.
You'll be fine now.
We'll just do that as the line.
So, Ammo Baron A is a good guy, which makes Shantae a criminal.
To be fair, he also took over a town and was planning on blowing up with a cannon.
Makes Shantae a criminal. And B, he's from space! Oh, roger that. I don't know why you're so excited about Ammo Baron being from space. Probably clearly
Can't go up in my butt, so why bother?
Probably clearly explained in the Shantae lore book about robots and space aliens existing and there being two Uncle Mimics.
Okay, we'll end the episode here then.
Sure.
Because it will start with cutscene straight away, so...
Alright. I was about to say good night. So, good night, I guess. Hope you're watching us at night.
Cheers, everyone!